can't investigate UKIP in the European Parliament in 2018. How do I do that?
See, that right there is proof that Nigel Farage is playing the game that I've always said he's been playing. He's playing a shell game, whereby he'll start in one campaign group or a party, and then when that party becomes too toxic in the eyes of the public, he'll move to the next one, or he'll just rebrand it. Because back in 2016, he was the head of UKIP, the party that is now saying that all immigrants, even if they've been born here, like their first, second, or even third generation, they're all potential terrorists. But then he jumped into bed with Leave.eu, the organisation that was set up by Richard Tice. And he was part of that during the referendum and afterwards. And oh look, that organisation putting out explicitly anti-Semitic propaganda about Jewish Holocaust survivors holding puppet strings controlling world politics. So then he helped set up the Brexit Party. But he knew that as soon as Brexit actually happened and people saw that it was making them poorer, which Nigel Farage has himself admitted to, he couldn't keep calling his Brexit Party the Brexit Party because then people would constantly associate it with the fact that they're constantly being made poorer. And so he changed the name from the Brexit Party to Reform UK. Which brings us to the press conference that just happened, because he's arguing that he can't investigate the Russian corruption that led to Nathan Gill, the Reform Welsh leader who took money from Vladimir Putin to push Russian talking points in the European Parliament, because that happened when he was in UKIP. Not when he was part of the Reform Party, but it did happen when he was part of the Reform Party, or technically the Brexit Party, but it's still the same party. It was just a rebrand. Nigel Farage was hoping that he could continue to play this shell game and act like the Russian corruption of Nathan Gill was part of one of his previous iterations of his party. But it's all the same thing. He just simply lost track of which lies he was telling. The game that Nigel Farage is playing is the equivalent of a parent going, "Peekaboo, you can't see me anymore." Like, he thinks we're that stupid. Nathan Gill took bribes from Russia while he was part of the Brexit Party. And so what Nigel Farage wants to say is, no, that was the Brexit Party, not the Reform Party. But that sounds too goddamn stupid, and so he called it UKIP instead, because he knows the shell game that he's playing.